Where did the real Israelites go, and what does Semitic actually mean? The question that triggers 1,000 myths. You've heard the name Israelites everywhere, in religion, in history, in politics, in identity debates. But ask one direct question: where did the original Israelites go? And the internet explodes. Some people claim they vanished. Others claim they became someone else. Others insist only one modern group can be the real heirs, as if history is a DNA test with a single winner. And then there's the word Semitic, used as if it means one race, one bloodline, one nation, when in reality, its core meaning began as a linguistic classification, not a biological one. Encyclopedia Britannica. So today, we're going to do something rare. We'll build the story carefully, using mainstream historical framing, not to erase anyone, not to crown anyone, but to answer the question honestly. The Israelites didn't simply disappear. They fragmented, migrated, assimilated, and transformed, like most ancient populations over long periods of time. First, who were the Israelites in historical terms? In ancient usage, Israelites refers to populations tied to the Iron Age kingdoms of Israel, north, and Judah, south. Over centuries, they were not a single frozen block of people. They were communities shaped by politics, war, economics, and shifting empires. And here's the first key to the mystery. Ancient identities were not modern nation-states. They didn't function like today's passports. People moved. Empires deported populations, families intermarried, languages changed, religions evolved. So when someone asks, where did they go? The best historical answer is, they went in many directions. 2. The Northern Kingdom falls, a root of the Lost Tribes story. One of the biggest breaks in the story is the fall of the Northern Kingdom, often associated with later Lost Tribes legends. Large-scale upheavals like conquest and deportation can scatter populations and disrupt institutions. Over time, those scattered communities may merge into surrounding societies, maintain identity in new forms, or partially disappear from the historical record. This is where the Lost Tribes idea gains emotional power, because it fills gaps in evidence with dramatic certainty. But historians tend to treat Lost Tribes claims cautiously, because the ancient world rarely provides clean, complete population trails. 2. The Samaritans, a surviving Northern Israelite-linked community. When people say the real Israelites vanished, they often overlook one of the most visible counterexamples, the Samaritans. Encyclopedia Britannica describes the Samaritans as a community with distinct religious traditions, historically centered in the region of Samaria, and marked by key differences with Jews, such as the sacred site they emphasize, Mount Gerizim rather than Jerusalem. Encyclopedia Britannica. The important takeaway isn't to turn Samaritans into a political tool. It's simply this: at least some Israelite-linked identity streams persisted in the region across centuries, even as history reshaped them. So no, ancient Israelite-connected communities did not evaporate. They endured, but not always in the form people expect. 4. The Babylonian exile, a turning point that reshaped Judean identity. Now we move to the southern kingdom of Judah, and one of the most decisive moments in the formation of later Jewish history, the Babylonian captivity. Britannica explains the Babylonian captivity as the forced detention of Jews in Babylonia after Babylon's conquest of Judah, and notes that it formally ended when Cyrus the Great permitted returns around 538 BCE. But here is the reality most mythic narratives ignore. Even when a return is permitted, not everyone returns. Some remain where new lives have formed. Some migrate elsewhere. Some integrate. That means the exile didn't just pause history, it reconfigured it. It helped generate new ways of organizing identity through texts, law, community practice, and religious institutions.
5. Diaspora, the real answer to where did they go? If you want the most historically defensible answer to where did the Israelites go, the biggest piece is diaspora. Britannica defines the Jewish diaspora as the dispersion of Jews outside Palestine, Israel, describing it as tied to the period after the Babylonian exile and especially after the Roman destruction of Jerusalem in 70 CE. Encyclopedia Britannica. That's not a minor detail. It's one of the central facts of Jewish history. Large, lasting Jewish communities formed across regions: the Eastern Mediterranean, Mesopotamia, later Europe, North Africa, and beyond, through long historical processes. And diaspora isn't disappearance. Diaspora is continuity through movement. 6. Why do people feel the original Israelites disappeared? Because they expect history to behave like a straight line. But history doesn't. Here are the forces that create the illusion of vanishing. A. Assimilation over centuries. In diaspora settings, some communities preserve identity strongly. Others gradually blend into surrounding societies. That doesn't require a conspiracy. It's what humans do everywhere. B. Identity changes form. Sometimes identity becomes more religious than political, sometimes more linguistic than ethnic, sometimes more cultural than territorial. C. Records are uneven. Ancient documentation is incomplete. Some regions kept more records than others. Some records were destroyed. Some never existed. So, absence of evidence often gets misread as evidence of disappearance. Now the word Semitic, what it is and what it isn't. This is where many modern arguments collapse. The term Semitic is most properly anchored in linguistics. Britannica defines Semitic languages as a branch of the Afro-Asiatic language family spread across North Africa and Southwest Asia, with major cultural roles in the Middle East for more than 4,000 years. Encyclopedia Britannica. So, Semitic primarily refers to language families like Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, Akkadian historically, and others. And here's the key point. A language family is not a single race. It's not a single nation. It's not a single genetic line. People can adopt languages. Languages spread through trade, migration, empire, religion, and education. So when someone says, "Who are the Semites?" a careful answer is, Semitic is a linguistic label first. It became misused historically in racialized ways, especially in European contexts, creating confusion that still fuels propaganda today. 8. So, who are the real Israelites today? This is the wrong question, because it assumes only one group can be real. A more honest question is, which living communities preserve historical continuity with ancient Israelite and Judean traditions through religion, culture, memory, texts, and sometimes ancestry? Historically speaking, multiple continuities exist. Jewish communities preserve a long and complex continuity through religion, law, texts, and collective memory, shaped by diaspora history. Samaritans preserve a distinct Israelite-linked tradition, rooted in the region and in specific religious practices. Many people in the broader region, through centuries of conversion, intermarriage, and cultural shifts, may carry